Hey guys, what's going on? Ultimus here. In this video I wanted to show you a quick overview on some of the easier mounts to get. I had a request a little bit ago, actually it's been a while, so I do apologize that this is taking me so long to get out, but I wanted to make sure that out of all the videos and guides, like type stuff I did, I wanted to make sure this one got out first because it was requested a little bit ago. Basically what this is going to be is a little bit of a guide or kind of show and tell video on some of the easier mounts to get. Some of them easier will be, you know, instant drop, just do this and you'll get it. Others will be a little more time consuming. So I want to put the more time consuming ones up front and then just kind of cap off the video with some of the easier ones that you will get just by simply running or completing said achievement or said requirement, and you'll get them out. On the more time-consuming ones, I suppose some people could argue that they're not easy to get because they're time-consuming, but the reason I still consider them easy to get and thought they were worth sharing is because there is no level of skill cap required to earn a typical achievement, but rather just a little bit of time committed to running or accumulating points. So if this is something you're into, I hope you guys enjoy, and as always, thanks for watching. So first off, we're going to take a look at the PvP mounts. These are in Stormwind. You can pick them up from Lieutenant Carter outside of the PvP vendor there in Old Town. And basically this consists of the Black Battle Strider, the Black War Ram, the Black War Steed Bridle, the Reins of the Black War Tiger, and the Reins of the Black War Elk. Now the reason I consider these easy to get but still time consuming, of course, as you can see, they each require 2,000 honor apiece to get. So if you are fully honor capped on your tunes, and you're looking for something to spend your honor on, this could be a good place to go because they're simply pretty easy to get and they look pretty cool. So let's go ahead. I want to show you guys the Black War Elk. So there is that one, as you can see in the mount tab here. The Black War Ram, it's got that pretty legit red saddle going on it, plus the armor. Got the Black War Steed, which looks very similar to a lot of the other armored horses. The Black War Tiger, which is probably my favorite out of all of the PvP mount. And then of course we have the Black Battle Strider, which out of all the encounter striders, I think that one looks at least one of the coolest. So again, it's a kind of a good time sink, and like I said, easy to get because all that's required for each one is the 2,000 honor. You can buy them in any order you want. If you only want one of them, a few of them, doesn't matter. Or if you're going for those mount achievements, this is probably an easy to go to one, especially if you're into PvP. Farming 2,000 honor is nothing, especially now with the Gladiator Sanctum. Another honorable mention really quick before we go any further into this video is the Flame Talon of Ultimuswow. Again, this one I wanted to throw in here because it is easy to get, but it is more time consuming, especially because Firelands is extremely soloable now, pretty much on any tune from what I've been able to see. And this does drop off of Ultimuswow herself, and so and I believe off of any difficulty. So this mount, Flame Talon of Ultimuswow, drops off of 10-man, 25-man, normal, or heroic. I believe the drop chance on any of them is the same. It's about 1%. The only tricky thing about Ultimuswow is every once in a while the fight will reset, and I'm not quite sure why it does that. But the fight itself is very simple. Just make sure you pick up those flame feathers off the ground once you get to her and keep flying through the rings to buff your haste and make sure you don't drop out of flight form. Next up on our list is the Vitreous Stone Drake, and please forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This bad boy, as you can see, is quite gorgeous, very similar to what Anax or the Phosphorescent Stone Drake, which is the rarest out of all of the Stone Drakes. Same model, just different coloring, obviously, with the blue, and as you can see, there's tons of players out here farming this thing, and the reason this is on the list of easy to get mounts but could also be potentially time consuming is because it is a drop off of slab hide here in the Stone Core. Now the reason that I put this one here is because it has a chance to drop off of normal or heroic now. It used to be to where it only dropped off heroic and you could only run heroics a certain amount of times each day, which made the drop chance on it and the ability to get it a little bit steeper. But now that it drops on normal mode, you can run normal mode as much as you want, and it has a 1% drop chance, as you can see, same as heroic. And so basically you can run this as many times as you want until this thing drops. I feel like I ran it about 20 or so times before I got it to drop. So definitely not a quick run, but again, it's not as high as I've heard of some other players on it. So that is why I consider this one of the easier mounts to get. but it can be quite time consuming. Hey, it's a flying cow. Look at that, it's a flying cow. Next up on our list is, of course, the infamous Raven Lord. Another one of those easy to get but can be very time consuming mounts. I've had friends that have been running this thing since Wrath of the Lich King and have yet to see it drop. And then I've had other friends that seem to, every time they run the stinking instance, they get this mount to drop. Drops in Sethek Halls, off of Anzu, which is the second boss in there, but it is only available on heroic mode, so that isn't something to keep in mind. And this is what makes this, of course, so hard to farm, is because you can only run it a certain amount of times per day. The drop chance itself isn't listed, but I imagine it's between the 1 and 3%, as any good mount is. And as you can see, of course, very similar to the Flame Talon of Elisrazor that we went over, because this was the original model of it before it got reskinned and he got a bunch of fire thrown on it. Also, it's kind of fun with Warlords of Draenor out. If you went through Spires of Arak, then you notice that Anzu was a NPC in a quest storyline bit there, and so it's interesting to see this model here, and of course the model in Sethek Halls as opposed to the newly updated one as well. Kind of cool. But again, this mount is super sweet looking. I love the way it looks with Shadow Priest as well. Just boom right there, and all of a sudden we got a shadowy transparent Anzu. Looks pretty dope, I think. But again, so this definitely is one of those mounts that falls under easy to get, just very time consuming. So if this is something that you're looking for, then be prepared for potentially some long and frustrating days spent, and pray to the RNG gods that they favor you. Don't make them mad. Next up on our list is probably the first mount we're going to go over that is very easy to get, especially now in Warlords of Draenor, because this is one that you simply have to complete the objective and you get it. And that is, of course, the Amani Battle Bear. This is a reskin of the original Amani War Bear, which is no longer available since they touched up and redid Zol Aman. It used to be a level 70 raid in the Burning Crusade, and if you see anybody running around with a mount like this, just with brighter red on the saddles, instead of this purplish color, then you know they were a raider back in Burning Crusade. Now, what is required to get this Amani Battle Bear? Basically, all you have to do is complete a quest in Zolaman, which is you go through and you have to rescue trolls from each of the boss fights, or I think 3 or 4 of the boss fights, within a time limit. There's a quest at the starting area next to Vol'jin. There's a troll there that will give you a quest to rescue these people from being sacrificed. And basically, at each of the boss fights in cages, there are trolls in cages and you have to release them. Every time you release them, you get a little bit of time added to the timer, and then you just have to get to the Panther boss and beat her before the time runs out, and then there will be a little scripted event of a troll in there that runs around and uncovers treasures inside of the room, and eventually what you will see once you unlock them and are able to click on it, you will get the Amani Battle Bear. Now, it's important to realize that if you're doing this with friends, only one of you gets the bear. So this is something that might be better done solo, especially because it can be done solo very, very efficiently. I've had no trouble running this. At the end of... Hey mage, please don't attack me. Thank you, you're too kind. At the end of Mist of Pandaria, with my friend and I at level 90, we were able to complete this, no problem, with about 12 minutes to spare, and I'm not kidding, because of the way the time stacks up and how fast we were burning through bosses. So I would imagine it would be just as easy, if not easier, with one player now. You shouldn't have any problem running this, and if for any means it kind of messes up and you aren't able to, if you've got multiple tunes, anything level 90 or higher shouldn't be a problem running this. The best way to get to Zulaman is if you have the flight path there, which is right outside Zulaman. What you can do is you can get to Shatrath by any means necessary. I suppose the easiest way would be from your main city, whether it's Orgrimmar or Stormwind. Take the portal to Hellfire Peninsula, not the Blasted Lands, but Hellfire Peninsula, since they updated it with WoD. And then take the flight path to Shatrath. There's a portal in Shatrath in the main city to the Isle of Keldanas. Port there, take the flight path from the Shattered Sun staging area down to the Ghostlands to Zul-Aman. If you do not have the flight path to Zulaman, then fly to the next closest area you have access to, and then you'll probably have to hoof it on mount. Either way, that's probably the quickest way that I found to get there, just a heads up. Next up on our list of easy to obtain mounts, and this one of course is non-time consuming, is the Black Drake, as well as, let me scroll down and find it, the Twilight Drake. Now the reason those are both extremely easy to get is because they both have a 100% drop chance off of Sartharion in the Obsidian Sanctum. And one drops off of 10 man, the other drops off of 25. So you can see we're on 25 man. There he is right here, 100% drop chance. 10-man loot, 100% drop chance. All you have to do is complete the achievement, the Twilight Zone, and simply says, with all 3 Twilight Drakes still alive, engage and defeat Sartharion, the Onyx Guardian, in 10-player mode. And of course the 25-man version will be the same, just in 25-player mode. Now, these are super easy to get, especially in the same day. If you have multiple toons, just run one in on the 10-man version and run the other one in the 25-man version. This was extremely soloable at the end of MOP, and so as of right now, I would imagine it is also extremely soloable. I can't imagine anything in here giving you any trouble. You might want to clear the trash on the side if you're not feeling quite confident. Just make sure you do not kill the 3 Twilight Drakes on the side. And last but not least, on our easy to obtain mounts, and this one is easy as well as non-time consuming really, you can get this done in about 20 minutes. That is the Red Flying Cloud if you don't have it already. This was released in Mist of Pandaria, and you can see there it is floating on its cloud. Looks kind of cool. I always thought it reminded me of the Nimbus Cloud from Dragon Ball Z personally. But this one is super easy to get because all you have to do is find all of the Lore Walker stones around Pandarian continent. Now this is made even easier with the add-ons TomTom, and then with the extra add-on that goes along with TomTom, Lore Walkers. Essentially how this works is while you're in each of the different zones in Pandaria, you'll see a nice big fat green arrow or a red arrow depending on which direction you're going on your screen that will direct you directly to the next Lore Walker stone. Each one of those stones unlocks a portion of the achievement as well as reputation. So as you can see in the tab here, it requires you to be exalted with the Lore Walkers. Basically, by the time you are done finding all of the stones, you'll be exalted with the Lore Walkers. You have the cloud unlocked, and you can pick it up for 600 gold. And that's why this is the last and probably one of the easiest but cool mounts to get on our list here today. As always, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. I wanted to do a mix of flying and ground mounts because dragons and flying mounts are dope, but with the removal of flying for now in Warlords of Draenor, I thought it would be cool to show a couple ground mounts as well since we're seeing those used more often. If you guys have any feedback on maybe some of your favorite mounts that you have, maybe you think some mounts that are easier to get or you'd like to suggest people grab, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.